Good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Morning.
Okay, welcome to our class. We pick from where we left yesterday. And yesterday we did introduce on this topic of overhead cost. And we did say that when it comes to the absorption costing method, then definitely the overheads that will be incurred by either service department need to be absorbed into the cost of the product. Okay, and we say that don't forget, as we discussed in some earlier topics, we said that when it comes to determination of the product cost, we use two methods, okay, the marginal costing method and the absorption costing method, okay. So in the case of the absorption costing method, then definitely we need to know how, therefore, do we absorb the overhead cost into the cost of the product, okay. We went ahead and discussed some of the way that can, how we allocate and how we apportion overhead, okay. And it's that when it comes to the allocation of the overheads, okay, you have to be quite careful on what basis you're going to use, okay. Do we use the, like this question read here, floor value to get the rent, for example, insurance cost, we use the machine value, okay. So the basis of cost allocation is going to be based on logic, okay. It's more towards the logic side of it, okay. It's more towards the logic, okay. For instance, how do we pay rent? Okay, it's based on the floor area. Okay, that is the reality. Okay, insurance. Okay, how do you pay insurance for your machines? It's based on the value of the machine. Okay, maybe the case of the canteen cost. Okay, measure the number of employees, because canteen is there to serve the employees. Okay, it's not there to serve the machines. The canteen is there to serve the employees. Therefore, the cost of the canteen ought to be allocated based on the number of employees. Okay, so this is what we discussed yesterday. Okay. Today, I want us to pick from there. Okay, we discussed the absorption of overhead. Okay, so generally, when it comes to the costing, okay, when it comes to therefore the costing of the individual product, okay, we are going therefore to be using what we call absorption rate. Okay, you're going to use the absorption rate. Okay, so once all the production overhead has been apportioned to the production cost centers, okay, like we did this question here. Okay, I think we got 67,000 for preparation. I think 47,000 for the assembly. Once now you've been able to determine the cost, the overhead costs that have been allocated to each of the production department, the preparation, for example, and the assembly, what about next? Okay. Now, once all those production overheads have been apportioned to the production cost center, don't forget, the concern here is more towards the production cost centers, because these are the unit, these are the centers, these are the departments that are involved in the manufacturing of the commodity. Okay, these are the departments that are involved in manufacturing of the products. That's what we see that if there is a service center, don't forget the service center doesn't manufacture. Okay, an example, the finance department, they're not involved in manufacturing at all. Okay, so the cost you'll be incurring in these service centers, therefore, it need to be apportioned. Okay, and they need to be apportioned to the two production among the production department. Okay. For instance, okay, if you take the example of, let's say, like Southern University, okay, now what are the service centers? What are the service centers? The finance department, okay, the canteen or the cafeteria department, all these centers, the library actually, okay, is there to serve, okay, the production unit in quotes, okay, in this case, the different schools, okay, where students learn, okay, Southern University's Institute of the accounting department, the accounting school, okay, the school of mathematics, okay, the school of law, okay. So all these include the production center, okay. So in case there be a cost, for example, the library incurs, okay, it is need to be apportioned among these departments. Okay, it need to be apportioned among this, okay, department where learning goes on, okay, the among the different schools, okay, that goes on, okay. So don't forget, when it comes to the cost apportionment, okay, we need to apportion the cost to the production center, okay. So if there's a service center, then all those costs need to be absorbed into need to be taken into account among the production departments only, okay. So any service center or any non-production department is there to serve the production departments, okay. So once all the production overhead has been apportioned to the production cost centers, okay, an overhead absorption rate is determined normally based on the hours or machine hours or the labor hours, okay. So you're going to determine, okay, we want to determine the cost of each product, okay. We need to determine the cost of each product, okay. So, and here, what normally do is that Conventionally, okay, we use what we call a predetermined absorption rate. Okay, we estimate, for example, okay, in the next one financial year, what to be the overhead that we anticipate, okay, we will be incurring. Okay, how many hours do we anticipate will be, for example, how many labor hours, okay, do we anticipate that we're going to be having for each of the department? For example, production department, okay, how many hours, labor hours, okay, are we expecting, okay, within the next 1 year, within the next 1 month, for instance, okay? Then based on the cost, okay, if I was to take you back, okay, what is the cost for the case of the preparation department? What was the total cost for preparation department? It was 60 something. How much was it? What was the cost for the preparation department? This question we did together yesterday. It was 60 something, if I remember. Hey, you guys. Alexander, you were in class yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Yes, what was the cost for the preparation department?
The preparation department.
Yes, yes.
56,820.
We got, I think, after we did also absorb the canteen, we got 60 something.
Yes, 61,494. That's the overhead absorbed.
Yes, okay. So for the case of the preparation department, we got 61,494. Okay. Now don't forget this. If, for instance, this is a forecast, okay, or assume that this was the actual production overhead that was incurred, okay. Now you want to absorb this into the product, okay. If, for example, the total hours, so this is the cost, okay. Maybe this is it for the month? Okay, there's no time limit here. Assume that this was the overhead for let's say 1 month, okay. It was the overhead for 1 month, okay. Therefore, we need to absorb this into based on, for example, the labor hours. So we tell, therefore, in this particular department, okay, the preparation department, okay, how many hours, towards the total hours, okay, that the workers have worked in this department within that month, okay. Assume, just an example, that hours have worked 10,000 hours for that particular month, okay. These are the number of hours that the workers have worked in that department. Therefore, for every hour for this department, for every hour the employee have worked in this department, the cost to be absorbed, therefore, will be equal to the cost, which is 61,000 divided by 10,000, okay, to give you therefore 6.15 more or less. Yes, 6.15. Okay, but for every 1 hour that the employee work, okay, in this department, the overhead is 6.15, which means therefore, if you want to get the cost of a product, okay, if for instance you want to determine that one of the products, okay, the number of hours, so you have here product, this is product X, okay, the company is making product X, we determine how many hours does the product X take in this department, okay, they took, for instance, assuming 3 hours, okay, the number of hours that this particular product did take in the preparation department, they took 3 hours. Therefore, the cost, therefore, that need to be absorbed when getting the cost of this product X, therefore, will be 3 hours times the 6.15, okay? This is for preparation department, okay? The same applies for the assembly department, okay? Determine how many hours, assume they take 5 hours in the assembly department. What's the cost per hour, okay? Assume, okay, it's, let's say 6.5, okay? Therefore, when it comes, therefore, getting the cost of the product, the total overhead that need to be absorbed into product X will be equal to the 6 times 6 points times 6.15, then 5 times 6.15, 6.5, okay? Therefore, when it comes to getting the total cost of product X, therefore, will be, for instance, okay, assume this cost is equal to how much? Let's say 60, okay, here's an example, okay? Therefore, the total overhead that need to be absorbed when getting the cost of product X will be equal to $60, okay? So if you remember the prime cost, okay, so you'll be having the prime cost here, okay, assume that the prime cost was $90, okay, we add the production overhead, the one you just absorbed here, which is this case is equal to this of the production overhead, which is equal to 60. Therefore, the cost of the product, therefore, is equal to $150, okay. So the idea here is we need to determine, therefore, how much overhead need to be absorbed into this particular product, okay. So the first step, of course, as we had said, we did yesterday, is you need to first get the overhead that need to be absorbed in each of the department, preparation department and the assembly department. Next, you tell therefore how many hours, okay? Maybe you can use machine hours, you can use the labor hours, okay? If you should use machine hours or labor hours, okay? If in a given month, the hours is 10,000, the cost per product is equal to the 61,494, the one we got yesterday, divided by the number of hours, which is 10,000, and you get 6.15, okay? Then we determine for this product X, okay, how many hours did it spend in this particular department, the preparation department. 3 hours, okay, at what cost? 6.15, okay. There was a cost, okay. You do that the same for preparation department and for the assembly department. Then you get the total overhead that need to be absorbed, okay, and that's become part of the final product cost. Anyway, that's what we're doing, okay. But that's just take you back from where we stopped yesterday. Now this 6.15, the one you just obtained here, just go back, the 6.15 here, okay, we have just obtained, which was 61,494 divided by 10,000, okay, this is all defined as the overhead absorption rate. This 6.15, okay, is all defined as the overhead absorption rate, okay, the 6.15, okay, is all referred to as the overhead absorption rate, okay. So the overhead absorption rate is a means of attributing overhead to a product or the service based on for example, on the labor hours or based on the machine hours. Okay, based on either machine hours or based on the labor hours. Okay, so for example, the 6.15 there we have just obtained is based on the labor hours. Okay, we want to determine what overhead need to go to this particular product X. Okay, that's what we want to determine. Okay. For every 1 hour that this particular the product will take in this particular department, what's the cost that need to be absorbed, okay, based on the hours this product takes in a particular department. Okay. As we mentioned, don't forget the overhead absorption rate, okay, is based on the two, okay, the machine hours or based on the labor hours, okay. So the idea is that you want to you should be having a good accounting system, okay, that is going to be able to account how many, what's the exact, okay, labor hours that has been spent within a given time period, okay. If it's about a month, okay, how many hours therefore do we have the workers, okay, have the workers spent in this particular department, okay. And don't forget here we only deal with the direct labor hours, not the indirect, but the direct labor hours, okay. That's the amount means therefore those employees who are actually involved in the production of the product, okay. Not the service employees, okay. The hours here are not for the service employees. The hours here are for the employees who are actually involved in the production of the particular commodity, okay. So labor hours, this will give a fixed overhead absorption rate, okay, per labor hours, okay. Machine hours, you can also use the machine hours, okay. If each of the department, okay, we have just gone through the preparation department and the assembly department, okay. We determine each department has a machine, okay. So how many hours did the machine in quote run during the particular month, okay? How many hours was the machine running for that particular time period, for that particular 1 month, okay? How many hours was the machine active in quote, okay? What do you mean therefore? If you want to get therefore the absorption rate, therefore, okay, it will therefore be equal to, okay, the overhead, okay, divided by machine hours, okay. So if for instance, okay, let me go back to the question. In the preparation department, we got 61,494, okay. So in case, just explain more. If for instance we have to use machine hours, okay. So here we used labor hours, okay, and we assumed the hours spent in that month was 10,000 hours, okay. If we have to use machine hours as our basis of absorption of this cost into the cost of the product, we determine therefore within the particular 1 month, how many hours was this machine running in the preparation department. Assume that the number of hours was, let's say, 5,000, okay. There were 5,000 hours. So if the company decided you're going to use machine hours as the basis of absorbing the cost into the cost of the product, therefore, the amount that need to be absorbed per machine hour will be equal to, okay, to be equal to 61,494. We divide by 5,000, and we get 12.331. I don't know. Just gets the answer here. What do you get?
Yeah,
6.149.
6 point, it can't be. Okay, divide by 5,000.
12.3.
12.3, okay, 12.3.
Yeah.
12.3, okay, you get to 12.3, therefore to be the overhead absorption rate based on the machine hours, okay? Which means therefore, if this company was to use the machine hours as the basis of absorbing the cost, then cost of the product X, we determine, for example, how many hours did this particular product take in the preparation department? Okay, how many machine hours? Okay, how many hours was it taking? Okay, if for instance, this particular product took, let's say, half an hour. Okay, so if this product X here, okay, took half an hour in the preparation department. Okay, and let's say 1 hour in the assembly department. Okay, so for the when it comes to the cost absorption of the cost of this overhead, okay, for the cost overhead of the preparation department, it will be equal to the cost of the overhead will be equal to half an hour times 12.3. Therefore, I think 6.15. Okay. Therefore, when it comes to absorption of this cost to the again the cost of product X, okay, this product X here. Therefore, we're going to be allocating 6.15 as overhead from the preparation department. The same process follows in the assembly department. Okay, 1 hour. Okay, it's 1 hour. We multiply by the overhead absorption rate based on the machine hour for the assembly department. Okay, which I think would be equal to 47,000. Okay, what was the cost for the assembly department? What was the cost for the assembly department?
40,906.
906. Okay, 40,906. Okay, with the same process follow. Okay, we determine what's the number of hours. Okay, the machine that was operated in this department, the assembly department, how many hours was it active? Okay, throughout the period. Okay, throughout the period. Okay, the number of hours, for example, would be equal to. Just an example. Assume that let's say 10,000 hours. Okay, just an example here. Okay, the number of hours was 10,000 hours. Therefore, for every hour this machine was running, the cost is equal to 4.09. Okay, 4.09. Okay, now this product X here, how many hours did you spend in assembly? In the assembly department, it was 1 hour. Okay, therefore, what's the cost? It's 1 times 4.09. Therefore, the total overhead that needs to be absorbed to the product X, therefore, will be 6.5 plus 4.09. Okay, to give us 10 point something. Okay. Therefore, when it gets the cost of product X, the overhead that need to be put into the cost of product X will be 10 point something. Okay. Is that clear? Okay. Yeah, the best thing is to definitely do an example. Okay. So I think that's going to make work pretty much easier. Okay. So go through this example. We just do what I've just mentioned there. Okay. So go through this example. Take a minute to go through it, then we discuss together. It's exactly what I've just explained, by the way. Okay, there's no complication. Okay, but go through it, then we discuss together. Okay, I suppose you've gone through the question. Time to read together. Okay, don't forget, this is a continuation from the question we did yesterday. Okay, so I presuppose that all of you were able to understand. Okay, what we did yesterday. Okay, let me get my working area. Okay, okay, they're here because of the cost here. Overhead, the total was 61,494 and 49,60 for the assembly hours. Just the beginning bit. Okay, get into the start or get into determine what's the cost, what's the overhead to be absorbed for each of the department. Okay. Next, once you're able to determine that, is to determine. So here, the absorption we told is going to be based on the machine hours. So we need to determine, therefore, how many machine hours, okay, we had for the preparation department and machine hours we had for the assembly department. Okay, so that can therefore our beginning bit. Okay, so here the basis is the use of machine hours. Okay, so we have machine hours here. We've been told that in the preparation department, so let me begin by the preparation department. We have two products. We have product A and we have B. Let's begin with A. In product A, the total units that were produced during that time period was 10,000 units. Okay, and every unit, the machine hours per unit was 2. So multiply by 2, together for 20,000 machine hours for product A. Okay, then for product B, okay, the total machine hours, okay, was total number of units was 6,000, and each unit, the number of machine hours spent per unit to make was 3. Okay, to give us therefore, we need to give us 18,000. Is it? Yes, 18,000. Therefore, the total machine hours, okay, we have for the preparation department is equal to 38,000. 38,000 machine hours. Okay, therefore, the overhead absorption rate, if we can say therefore, the overhead absorption rate, okay, for the preparation department will be equal to the overhead for the preparation department, which is 61, okay, 494. We divide by the total machine hours, which in this case is 38,000. And you get how much? One point.
$1.62.
1.62 over dollar per hour. Okay, that's for every machine hours that this particular product spent in the preparation department, the cost is equal to 1.62 over dollar. Okay, that's the overhead, therefore, absorption rate. You have to use the machine hours. Okay, from these products, A and B, they also pass through the assembly department. So next is to get the absorption rate for the assembly department. Okay, we have product A, we have product B. For product A, the machine hours, okay, it takes 1 machine hour per unit, and the units are 10,000, therefore 10,000 times 1 to give therefore 10,000. Product B is the same, it's 1 hour, okay, therefore 6,000 number of units times the number of hours, machine hours, which is 1, to give therefore 6,000. Therefore, the total machine hours, okay, for the assembly department is equal to 16,000 hours. Therefore, the overhead absorption rate, okay, based on the machine hours for the assembly department will be equal to the cost, which is equal to 4906. Okay, we have it here. So 4906. We divide by the number of hours, which is 16,000 machine hours. Give us how much? 2 points.
2.56.
2.56. Okay, therefore, for every 1 hour that the product A or product B takes in the assembly department, the cost incurred is 2.56. Okay, 2.56. Okay, that's for based on machine hours. Okay, the basis here we state is machine hours. Now, if you have to use the labor hours, because you can use 2 bases. Okay, machine hours or can use labor hours. So let's now use the labor hours. Okay. So, next is we have to use here labor hours as the basis of absorptions here. Not labor hours, not cost. Labor hours. Okay. The same process begin in the first department, preparation department. Okay. Product A, we determine therefore what the total labor hours that the company spent in making of product A under the preparation department. Units were 10,000. The number of hours that each unit takes is 2.5, therefore times 2.5. You therefore 25,000 hours for product A. Product B, the units are 6,000. The labor hours that it takes in the preparation department is 1 hour, therefore 1, therefore 6,000. Therefore, total labor hours spent in the preparation department is equal, therefore, 31,000 hours, labor hours. Therefore, the absorption rate based on the labor hours will be equal to the cost in the preparation department, which was 61,494. 61.4, divide the number of hours, which is 31,000 labor hours, to give us 1.98. 1.98 dollars. Therefore, the cost, this is per hour. Okay, this is cost per hour. Okay, per hour. Okay, so therefore, the absorption rate therefore is equal to $1.9 for every labor hour that the product takes in machine in the preparation department. Okay, that's for the department. So therefore, the next is the assembly department. Okay, we have product A, we have product B. In product A, we are going to make 10,000 units, okay, during that time period. The machine, the labor hours spent per unit under the assembly department will be told is equal to 3, therefore times 3, okay, therefore 30,000 hours, okay. In product B, okay, there are 6,000 units, and the labor hours under the assembly department is 4, therefore times 4, okay, to give therefore 24,000. Total machine labor hours under the assembly department therefore will be equal to 54,000 hours. Therefore, the absorption rate therefore be equal to the cost under the assembly department, which was 4906. We divide by the total labor hours, which is equal to 54,000. Okay, to give us 0.76. 0.76. Okay. Yeah, 0.76, therefore, dollar per hour that is spent in the assembly department. Clear?
Yes.
Question?
No.
Okay, great. Therefore, that's how we absorb the overheads into the cost of the product. Now, if we are to determine, okay, if the question was to continue, okay, this question doesn't continue, but let's assume the question was to continue and ask us to determine, therefore, what will be the overhead that is going to be absorbed in each of the products, okay, if the question was to continue, okay. Therefore, the overhead, okay, the overhead that will be absorbed in each of the products, okay. So let me just put a question here, okay, what would be will be the overhead absorbed into each of the product, okay, based on 1, okay, machine hours, okay, and 2, labor hours, okay. Well, that's the next, I guess, the question that asks us to do that, okay, labor hours and machine hours, okay. So here, if that's a question, okay, we're just trying to make up a question from what you've just done, okay. So what will be the cost? What will be the overhead cost, okay, that need to be absorbed into each of the products if you have to use machine hours or if you have to use the labor hours, okay. Let's get the machine. Let's use the machine hours first. We get the amount of overhead that need to be absorbed in each of the products. Machine hours. Okay, product A. In the preparation department, we'll begin with A here. In the preparation department, product A was taking how many hours? In the preparation department, product A was taking this per unit, the cost per unit. Okay, it was taking 2 machine hours. That is A. Okay, the cost will be equal to, okay, 2 machine hours times the cost per machine hour, which you have obtained to be equal to the absorption rate was 1.62. Okay, 1.62. Therefore, times 1.62 times 1.62. Give us how much? 3 point. 3.24. Now, again, this product A goes to the next department. Okay, the assembly department. Because it goes to the assembly department. Okay, and the number was that this unit product this product A takes in the assembly department machine hours. So these are machine hours. It takes 1 machine hour. Yes, is this one? Yes, 1 machine hour. 1 machine hour And the cost per 1 machine hour, okay, going back to our workings, okay, is equal to 2.56, okay, 2.56, therefore, times 2.56. Okay, therefore, 2.56. Therefore, the production overhead that needs to be allocated to this product, therefore, will be equal to how much? Sum of these two. 5.8. 5.9, 5.8, okay, 5.8, get 5.8, okay, therefore, when it comes to determine the cost of the product A, therefore, the total overhead, okay, that need to be absorbed, okay, therefore is equal to 5.8, 5.8, yeah, based on the use of machine hours. Clear? Okay, then product B, okay, based on machine hours, okay, the same process, preparation department, assembly department. In the preparation department, product B was taking how long? It was taking 3 hours, okay, 3 machine hours. So therefore, we go to 3 times the cost per unit, which remain at 1.62. In the assembly department, this product B took 1 hour. So 1 hour times the cost per unit per hour, 2.56. 2.56. For the there was the cost at the preparation department. 4 point.
4.86.
0.86. Okay, total. Seven point.
7.42.
7.42. Okay, therefore the amount of overhead that need to be absorbed, okay, to product B, if we treat the machine hours as the basis, is therefore equal to 7.42. Okay, clear?
Yeah.
Okay, and don't forget this is the use of machine hours. Okay, you can also use labor hours. Okay, so next is what if you have to use labor hours? What do you get of A? What do you get of B? Okay, can do that. So take 2 minutes. You do for A and you do for B.
Pose the question again.
If you have to use labor hours as a basis of the absorption of the overheads, what will be the cost? What will be the cost you're getting? What is the production overhead cost you're going to be absorbing for product A and for product B? The same way you've done here. The difference is that we're going to be using labor hours, not machine hours. Okay, what if you have to use labor hours? What will be therefore the cost of A and cost of B? The production overhead cost of A and for B. You get it?
I'm asking for the question.
This is a question that we have just been doing. What will be the overhead cost absorbed into each of the product based on machine hours or labor hours? You've done the machine hours. Now I want you to do the labor hours. Is it clear?
Yes.
So take 2 minutes. Give me the cost of A, cost of B. Yes, Alexander. Okay, so in this case, you're meant to use the labor hours as the basis of the cost absorption. Okay, so let's begin with A. Okay, then we compare what the answers are given up there. Okay, so begin through the preparation department. Okay, the number of labor hours that A takes. Go through the question again. Machine A, the product A, the labor hours it takes is 2.5. 2.5, we multiply by the absorption rate, and the rate of absorption is how much? Based on labor hours, the absorption is equal to 1.98, okay, because this is labor hours, and the rate of absorption, okay, is 1.98, so 1.98, so 1.98 times 1.98, okay, for the assembly, okay, the assembly department, the hours that product A takes, the labor hours is 3 hours. We multiply by the rate, okay, based on machine hours, So labor hours, sorry, the rate is equal to 1.07. Okay, so it's 0.76. Therefore, 3 times 0.76. Give us how much for the preparation department?
4.95.
4.95. Okay, the assembly department?
2.28.
2.28.
Yes.
Yeah.
Total?
7.23.
7.23. And therefore, the cost of the production overhead costs that should be absorbed in product A. Okay, we do the same for B. Okay, preparation department. And of course, the assembly department. Okay, for B, the number of labor hours it takes is 1 hour times the rate, which still remain at 1.98. 1.98. The labor hours it takes in the assembly department is 4 hours. It would be 4 times the rate 0.76. Give us how much?
3.04.
3.04. Okay, sum total
0.02.
5.02, and therefore the amount of overheads that need to be absorbed into product B. Okay, and I think it goes to those answers here. Okay, and that's what you meant to do. Ask question. Where is the question? Question. As you can see, don't forget you have to be careful on what basis you're going to be using, because if you check the cost of product A, it's 10.23 if you use labor hours, and I think it is different if you use the machine hours. Yes, you can see it is different if you have to use machine hours. So be quite careful what basis, okay, you're meant to use, because you're going to end up having different costs altogether. Okay, if you use machine hours, the cost is 5.8. If you use labor hours, you can see it is 7.23. Okay. So you have to be quite careful what basis you're using when it comes to the cost absorption. Clear? Question? Okay, no question. Okay. Now this is a question, you've done it. Okay. Now here is another question that picks from where we have just left. Okay, determine the cost of product X if it has direct material cost of 14.3 and it has labor cost of 16.3. Okay, so if we have the cost here, anyway, so take 1 minute to go through it. If you want to copy. Okay, so in this question, we mean to get the cost of the product, okay, if the material cost and the labor costs are as follow, okay. So it's a continuation of just what you just discussed right now. Okay, anyway, let's attempt it. An easy one for sure. Okay, therefore, the cost of product A, okay, this is X. Mm-hmm. And this is an easy one. I don't know even why I did put it here. This question, determine the cost of product X if it has material cost 14. Okay, there's a time to do it. Okay, product X. Okay, therefore, we can say therefore the prime cost is direct material cost. Direct material cost, okay, which is equal to 14.3, okay, dollars. The labor, direct labor cost, which is equal to 16.5. Therefore, the total prime cost, okay, we'll call the prime cost, okay, will be equal to 30.8. We need to add the production overhead, the one you just absorbed. Okay, now get here, we need to have which base we begin to use first. Okay, so let me use the first basis to be machine hours. Actually, this question, let's assume this is product A to make our work easier because determine the cost of product A. Let's assume this is product A. At just that question, we assume this is product A. Okay, this is product A, not machine. This is product A, not X. And this is going to give us complication. Okay, so at just that question, we say determine the cost of product A if the machine, the direct material cost is 14.3 and labor cost is 16.5. Okay, so change that to A. Okay, therefore, if the prime cost for A is 30.8, okay, therefore we add the production overhead, okay, which we have. The first basis is what if we have to use the machine hours as the base of absorption. Therefore, we did get the cost, the overhead for A to be equal to how much? To be equal to 5.8, okay? To be equal to 5.8, yeah, okay? Therefore, plus 5.8, plus 5.8, okay? To give, therefore, that is 6.6, I guess. That's 6.6, okay? So therefore, the cost of product A, if we are to use machine hours, okay? As the base of absorption, okay? If we are to use the labor hours, okay? Same process. If we are to use the labor hours as the base of absorption, the prime cost, let me as it is, okay, will be equal to 30.8, okay. We need, based on the labor hours, okay, the cost of A, the production overhead costs that need to be absorbed, okay, for A, we are just obtained equal to, here it is, okay, this is the labor hours, okay, this is the labor hours, based on the labor hours, okay, we got 7.23, therefore plus 7.23, give therefore 38.03, confirm.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, that's 8.73. Okay. So just say that from X to product A. Okay. So that you can apply what you just learned above there. Okay. On the production overhead. Okay. Look, this they have given the total production cost. Total production cost. Okay. Total production cost. Given therefore that 6.3. That 6.3 if you have to use machine hours, and that 8.3, that 8.03 if you have to use the labor hours as the basis of absorption. Okay. Clear. Okay. And let's together for the cost of the product, okay, if based on how the overheads are being absorbed, okay. As I mentioned, okay, generally, we normally use when it comes to determination of the production over the absorption rate, normally it is on what we call a predetermined basis. Okay, it is predetermined. Okay, what do we mean by that? Being predetermined. What we mean by that is that we are going to be determining the rate even before that time period. Okay, that you're going to be the values to be using. Okay, they are budgeted. Okay, the value you're going to be using, they are what we call the budgeted. Okay, activity level. Okay, for instance, let's take you back to the question that we have been doing so far. Okay, let me just take you back. Yes, here it is. Okay, look at here, we use the budgeted volume. Okay, you can see. Okay, so therefore this is predetermined. Okay, it is going to be these are not the actual volumes. Okay, these are the what we are anticipating. Okay, the company is going to be producing in the next, for example, 1 month, in the next 1 year. Okay, therefore the values you're going to be using, they will be what called a predetermined absorption rate. Okay, they are budgeted, they're not actual. Okay, is that you're going to be getting the rate before the time period. For instance, if you want to get the absorption rate for the next for the month of November, okay, we are not yet in the month of November. So any rate you're going to be using today, okay, for what to be there in the November is predetermined. Okay, you can be using it for activity levels that are going to be forecasted. Okay, in the next 1 month, for instance. Okay. There's another question. I'm not sure who it was.
It was me. It's okay, sir.
Okay. So in the case of absorption costing, okay, it's usual to add overhead product cost by applying a predetermined overhead absorption rates. Okay, like the one you just done. Okay, it's predetermined. Okay, as I mentioned, we are using budgeted activity levels. Okay, we're using the budgeted activity level. So it's predetermined. It's before it actually happened. Okay. The predetermined date is set annually in the budget. Okay, as we have mentioned, it's set in the budget. Okay, as you can see in that example you've just done, we are using budgeted activity level. Okay, so you do it before the time period. You do it before the year begins in quote. Okay. It does not mean that you cannot get the actual absorption rate. You can get it. Okay. However, when it comes to the product costing, we use predetermined. Okay, that's what I apply in reality. We use a predetermined rate. Okay, we use a predetermined rate. Okay. Now, since as you mentioned, okay, when it comes to getting or quantifying the cost of the product, okay, like the one you just done here for product A, okay, material hours, okay, the material cost that we are incurring plus the production overhead cost, okay, the one we just calculated, okay. Don't forget to say that you're going to be absorbing them based on the predetermined rates, okay. So the overhead are not absorbed in the base of the actual overheads incurred, but on the base of the estimated or the budgeted figures. Okay, they were just done. Okay, we don't get the cost of the product based on the actual overheads. Okay, we use based on the predetermined rates that we determined before the time period. Okay, the absorption is predetermined. Okay, the rate at which the overheads are included in the cost of the sale. Okay, the cost of the product. Okay, is predetermined. Okay, is predetermined. Okay, the use of a predetermined absorption rate. Okay. Clear? Okay. Now, the absorption rate, which I think you've already done, okay, is calculated by dividing the budget overheads, okay, by the budget level activity, okay. It's what is going to be the overheads that we are anticipating that we shall be paying in the next 1 month, okay. How many labor hours do we anticipate we're going to be having in the next 1 month? Okay, how many machine hours are we anticipating in the next 1 month? Okay, so it is going to be predetermined. Okay, we determine it by dividing. Okay, the overhead, budget overhead by the budgeted activity level. They were just done. Okay, which was we got, for example, 61,494. Okay, divide by, I can't remember now, divide by, I think 38,000 maybe, okay, 30,000 machine hours, okay. So this is the overhead, we divide by the activity, in this case, the machine hours, okay. That's therefore how we obtain the absorption rate, okay. The overhead budgeted, we divide by the budgeted activity level, okay. And as mentioned at the level, the activity is mostly machine hours or labor hours, okay, the machine hours or the labor hours. For production overhead, the level of activity is often budgeted labor hours. I think you mentioned that, or the budgeted machine hours. Okay, that is the common way of trying to absorb. Okay, the machine, the overheads. Okay, based on either the machine hours or based on the labor hours. Clear? And since now we are not using the actual overhead, we are using some predetermined rate, okay? There could be instance, which is going to be the reality, that you're going to be having cases where what was budgeted might not be the actual amount that you're going to pay, okay? Therefore, you may have a case of either an over absorption of the overhead, okay, or an under absorption of the overhead. Okay, because don't forget, as I mentioned, we are using a predetermined rate. These are forecast, okay, these are budgets, which might vary from the actual, okay. So if, for instance, you have a case where the actual overhead, okay, for the production department was, let's say, let's say 70,000, okay, just an example. If the actual overhead, okay, we call it a actual overhead, okay, for preparation department was 70,000, don't forget what was actually absorbed was 61,494. Okay, this is what was absorbed in the product. Okay, but what was meant to be absorbed was meant to be 70. Okay, therefore in this case, therefore you have what we call an under absorption. Okay, don't forget we determine the rate of absorption based on 61,494. If the actual overhead incurred for that time period was 70, okay, as you can see, therefore we have here difference. Okay, the overhead that was meant to be absorbed was 670, but what was actually absorbed was 60,494 because this was what was budgeted. Okay. Therefore, we have a case. Here we have a case of having a cost that is not that we have a case where we do have the cost of the product, okay, being lower than what it was meant to be, okay, because we use a lower budgeted cost, a lower overhead cost when getting the budgeted activity levels, okay. Because therefore a case of under absorption, okay. In the case of under absorption, okay, it means that that insufficient overhead have been included in the cost of production, okay, like you just done here. We did use 61,000, okay, whereas we meant to have used 70,000. It's called under absorption, okay. If maybe the cost was meant to be 50,000, okay, and you absorbed 61, when getting the rate, we use 61,494, okay, whereas the actual was 60, sorry, was 50, then here we have over absorption, okay, because you're meant to have absorbed 50,000. However, what was being absorbed into the cost of the product was based on 61,494. This is a case of over absorption, okay, a case of over absorption, okay. Overabsorption occurs or means that the overheads charged the cost of production, okay, is greater than the overhead that was actually incurred, okay. This is the actual cost, but what was absorbed was 61,494. This is a case of over absorption, okay, a case of over absorption of the overheads. Clear? Question? Okay, an example. So in this example, you may determine whether there was either an overabsorption or there was an underabsorption. If the actual overhead incurred during the month was 8,000, the actual hours were 8,500. Okay, the budgeted estimates at the beginning of the month were 9,000 and 9,000. What do you think, by the way? Not sure whether you have done the calculation, but anyway, let's do it together. Maybe that may not stretch you too much. So this example, the first step, of course, is for us to get to determine what was the absorption rate. Okay. So let's get the absorption rate. So as we mentioned, the absorption rate is based on. Okay, just a minute. Okay, let's do it together. So first we need to get what was the absorption rate that was actually used. In this case, the rate here, the absorption rate, is equal to the budgeted overhead is equal to the budgeted overhead. We divide by the budgeted activity level. The budgeted, in this case, the hours, budgeted hours, which therefore is equal to 90,000. We divide by 9,000 to give us therefore a rate of $10 per hour. $10 per hour. Okay, that's the rate that was used. That was okay. The absorption rate. Okay, and the actual hours is equal to 8,500. Therefore, the overhead absorbed. Overhead absorbed was equal to actual hours. Okay, actual hours we multiply by the absorption rate. The actual hours was 8,500 times 10 together for the overhead absorbed as 85,000. Okay, the actual overhead incurred for that time period was 80,000. Okay, therefore, as you can see, the amount of absorbed was 85 more than what was actually absorbed, which is 80,000. So here we have therefore a case of overabsorbed. Therefore, overabsorbed overhead is equal to what was actually absorbed, 85,000 minus the actual, which was 80,000. Here we have a case of an overabsorption of 5,000 for that time period. Okay. Here.
Can you
repeat? I didn't get your question. There's someone who asking a question.
I'm saying, can you repeat the explanation again?
Okay, let me repeat again. So the first thing is to get the rate. What is the absorption rate? Okay, as I mentioned, is based on the budgeted overhead versus the budgeted activity level. So overheads versus the activity levels. These are budgeted. Okay, therefore the budget hours was 9,000. We divide by the budget overhead, which was 90,000, to give therefore $10 per hour. Clear so far?
Yeah.
Okay. The overhead that was actually absorbed, okay, don't get is based on the actual hours. So the actual hours that this particular maybe product took, maybe that for that time period, was 8,500. Okay, we multiply. What was the rate per hour? The rate per hour is $10. Okay, which is therefore we multiply by 10. Therefore, what was actually absorbed was therefore 85,000. So this is actual hours. Okay, we multiply by the rate of absorption. Okay, don't forget the rate is the only one that is based on budgeted. Okay, the rate, we get the rate. Okay, like you've done here. Okay, actual hours, 8,500 times the rate, $10, and you get $85,000. Okay, we compare with what was actually incurred. Okay, the actual cost, it was 80,000. What was absorbed? 85,000. Therefore, what was the case here is a case of overabsorption. Because we are meant to absorb, we are meant to take up 80, but what was allocated, also absorbed was 85,000, an extra of 5,000, an over absorption. Clear? Yeah. Okay. Any other question? Okay, no question. Okay. Okay, that's what determines whether that's how you determine whether you have a case of overabsorption or a case of underabsorption. Okay, comparing what was the actual overhead incurred versus the budget versus what was actually absorbed. Okay, comparing what was actually absorbed versus what was budgeted. Okay. Now, therefore, how do you account for the case of either overabsorption or underabsorption? Okay. So in case we have a case of overabsorption, okay, in case we have a case of overabsorption, now what does that mean? So first you have to consider that a case of overabsorption, okay, is you did absorb more cost than what you are actually meant to have absorbed, okay. For example, in the case we've just done here with 5,000. Therefore, what do we do? Since we did absorb 85 instead of 80, therefore we have a credit of 5,000, isn't it? If you're meant to have taken, you're meant to have paid. Let's look at it from practice. Okay, if the cost of our product, okay, was you bought at 85, okay, you are meant to have bought at 80. So since you're meant to have bought at 80, someone is going to include like refund you the difference because you paid more than what you're meant to have paid. So is that something good or bad? Let's put that way. The cost of the product was 80, you paid 85, let alone because you overpaid, you have given a refund of 5. Do you understand? No, whether I'm trying to look from a particular example. Jepto.
Yes.
Hey, I've not seen you in class. Is this your first class?
Yes.
Oof. You have a lot to cover. Hey. Anyway, Munira.
Yeah.
Okay, you understand what I'm trying to explain?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, since don't go ahead, Munira, because you have understood. Then I want to ask you more questions.
Okay.
Now, since we have a case of you have in quote, let's say in quotes, okay, is like a refund of 5,000. Now, this refund, what is it like?
You mean if the 5,000 is over-absorbed?
Yes.
Then it will be credited, right?
Yes, to be credited. Therefore, it's like an income, don't forget, okay? And if you remember what we were saying about the income, you credit the income, okay, like you just done here. Okay, therefore, it's going to be therefore credit, okay, because this is an income, okay? Therefore, going to be a credit entry in the income statement. Therefore, debit, you credit, okay, the income statement, because this is an income, as per se, and we debit the production overhead cost. Incomes, again, therefore, to be is a credit entry, if you remember the click and the dead. Always remember, okay? Okay, obviously remember those, okay? Now, in case is the reverse, is a case of underabsorption, okay? Don't forget, if for instance you're meant to absorb, let's say 85, okay, you're meant to absorb 85, but you only absorbed 80, okay? This is the actual cost. Assume this is what was absorbed. Okay, you have the case that you absorbed 80, you're meant to have, and you're meant to have absorbed 85, then there was an underabsorption of 5, okay? Therefore, in quote, your expenses were lower than what were meant to be. Therefore, this is like an expense. Therefore, what do you do? Look at all the expense, you debit. You can see here, debit expenses. Okay, so that we have debit the income statement with the amount that has been other absorbed. Clear? J minions. J.
Yes.
Yes. Is this your first class? Or what's happening, J? Is this your first class?
Yeah, it's my first class also.
You guys, you have a lot. You have a lot that you need to do. You have a lot that you need to do.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I'll contact one of you so that they can send you the videos of the class we have
Okay.
been having in the past, so that you can catch up. Okay. Karen as well as Jay. So get Alexander. You can maybe. I hope they're part of the group of the.
Yeah.
They're part of the WhatsApp group.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I hope you have the videos. If you don't have, then ask someone you to forward the videos to you.
Okay.
Okay. Any question?